Yo, Knicks fans, welcome back to another episode of the Knicks Corner. I am your host, Danny B. My partner in crime, Coach Fi, he is on the way at the moment, so he'll be joining us shortly. And we got a special guest in store for you guys today. I feel like I say that every week, but our guests have been fire lately, and this one is another one who just keeps raising the stakes. So before I say too much, let me drop the theme music. We'll get right into it. So we will be right back. Back again, another week. Man, I love this. I love this Knicks team. I love the energy that we got going on. I'm excited, man. What is it? 4 or 5 days, October 5th. It's right around the corner. Game 1 of the preseason starts. I can't wait. We are there. Game 2, me and Coach in the building. So keep your eyes out for some special content around there. So I'm going to fast forward to the guest that I have on today. You guys, I'm sure, have all seen him before, during, after any Knicks game, I'm sure. He's somebody who started out in the magazine industry with The Source, worked his way to Complex, Bleacher Report, and obviously now you guys all know him from MSG. So without further ado, I got Kazeem Famuyide. Hopefully I said that right, man. Welcome
Close enough. Famuyide.
Famuyide. Oh, man.
Yeah,
Dude,
thanks for having me on the
everywhere.
show, bro.
Oh, of course, man. Absolutely. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate your time, of course. Man, I was trying to look up every instance I could of an introduction for you so I could nail your name. And everywhere I went, it's just different. It's pronounced different.
Monica nails it every week. She hits me with the Famuyide. We done got it down to perfection at this point. So definitely next time we do PM. You could check her out.
Oh, absolutely, and you know what? That's a shame on me for not extending the invite to Monica to have both of you guys on. Honestly, I didn't even think
the WNBA playoffs right now, so she's a little tied up. But
man.
I'm sure we can get her on.
Definitely, man. One day down the road, hopefully we can connect. But yeah, man. So thank you for coming. I'm super appreciative of your time, and I definitely want to get into picking your brain a little bit with our Knicks.
Yeah, man, it's that time.
Definitely is that time, man. This is peak time. We're finally out of the dog days of the summer, dog days of the off season, and we're rounding the home stretch, really, right?
Yeah, man. I think we're about a few days away from preseason training camp started this week.
Yeah,
and I'm just there's a different level of buzz around the team. It feels like it kind of feels like
it really is.
You think of all the noise happening with other franchises and other teams. And funny enough, none of it's coming from the Knicks, which is a nice welcome change.
It's a blessing, man.
For a Knicks fan, so I'm not mad at it.
Oh, absolutely. When that's the biggest running joke for us this week, is the fact that there was no controversy. I'm totally cool. I love it, man. I love where we are, not just as a team, but even just the environment and the aura surrounding the team itself off the court. You know what I mean? I feel like it's at a different level, so I feel like this season's really it. We could kind of really stomp our foot down and make an imprint, a permanent imprint. This is it. I know we here, but at the same time, like, we here to stay is kind of what I want to get out of it. So, you know what I want to do? One thing I like to bring up to the guests I bring on is I like to kind of pick your brains a little bit, right? So the first thing I want to ask you is, how did you become a Knicks fan? I love hearing these types of stories, so please.
Well, I got to give that to my mama. My mama was a Knicks fan, and my introduction to the game of basketball, which I've grown to love, has been through the New York Knicks. And I'm born and raised New Yorker, born in Long Island, raised in Far Rockaway, Queens, and Staten Island.
Long Island here too, man. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Touched Harlem for a little bit, but I'm a New York lifer, man. And I've always been a fan of the team, and just my love of basketball and my introduction to the game came through, watching Knicks games with my mom. watching Reggie Miller break our hearts, watching Jordan come through and light up the Garden, watching Patrick Ewing every single night, Oakley, Mason. I mean, you know the guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
man.
it's the 90s Knicks, and you're
Dude,
in
people
90s
forget,
baby.
man. We had a 14-year run, I believe, of playoff appearances,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's something that gets overlooked all the time. We don't hear about that enough,
Yeah, it's weird, man, because if you were '80s baby, you grew up in the '90s, and those are your formative years. And my formative years of watching basketball consist of like deep Knicks playoff runs. It's like, all right,
Right,
we're either gonna run into Reggie or we're gonna run into Mike or run into somebody. Like,
right.
it was always very competitive. So, yeah, man, that's kind of how I got my first bug, my first itch of Knick fandom, and it's only grown over time. Like I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like obviously playing some ball in college and just kind of being focused on that. I didn't watch a ton of Knicks basketball as a high schooler, but like as I grew up in college and started to really figure out what I wanted to do in my career, I found myself back into my super Knicks fandom like I had as a kid. But the funny thing was the Knicks weren't that great yet, like it was just all right.
Right.
So it kind of drove it a little bit more, and I'm just a lifer, man. You know how Knicks fans are born and bred.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely, and
it's
it's
not
just
new
fun.
Knicks fans. They're usually born, not me.
No, same, man. Actually, my mom also influenced me, and that's kind of how I started paying attention and following the Knicks also. So funny, man. I always love asking that question because there's so many different routes that people land on being a fan of this team, So hearing all those origin stories is kind of cool to see how it all comes together, and how we all come together. So it's fun, man. It's just like I said, the aura around the team right now, especially, but just being a Knicks fan, man, being a part of the Knicks fandom, the Knicks community, it's a blast,
Yeah, tell me about it. And my mom is one of y'all. My mom is a diehard Knicks fan.
Hell
So
yeah,
no
man.
matter what I do with my career, the thing that she
Shouts to
gets the
Mama
most hype
Kaz.
about is seeing me after Knick games, before Knick games, doing MSG PM. Like that's the one thing she gets the biggest kick out of. So that's
Hell
always
yeah,
really
man.
cool.
So I want to get into it a little bit. I know you mentioned that you were playing ball in college, right? And I was doing some research. I know at that time you were going to school, playing ball, and then going from right there to your job. I believe was it the Source or Complex at that time?
Yeah, I was at the Source at that
The
time.
Source,
I've
right?
done some freelance stuff for Complex. I wasn't there full time, but I was full time at the Source magazine, and it was my senior year. I played a little bit of D2 at Dominican College for about 2 years. Did okay there, but I wanted to play more. Like I just knew that the school that I went to was, basically because they offered me some athletic money, and I took it. And I got a little older, and I really told myself, like, if I'm gonna stay in school, I really want to get a education that I think will really help me in my career.
Right.
So I transferred to Purchase College, which had a great journalism program, and played some ball over there. And my first year there wasn't that great, but I got to play a whole lot and score a lot of points and get a lot of accolades, and that's always fun. But the next year, my senior year, we got some good talent around us, and we made a pretty good run in the playoffs. And while that's all happening, I'm still sort of like figuring out what I kind of wanted to do in my life. And I remember answering a Craigslist ad for internship in the music for a music magazine, for a hip hop
Right.
music magazine. So I'm thinking, I answered an internship thinking, it's some startup magazine or some, something that's not like as known as what it was. So when I got there,
Yeah,
realized
sure.
it was Sports Magazine. I was like, oh man, like this is right up my alley,
Right. This is it.
So that's kind of what got my foot in the door to being in the media industry. So yeah, there were times that I'd be going to class, in the morning. No, not even going to class in the morning, going to work in the morning. Especially my last semester, I would wake up, take the train over to the financial district where the Source magazine was at. I'd work there for a bit. Like sometimes I'd have a night class. I'd come back all the way to Purchase, take the Metro North, take a night class there. Some days it'd be vice versa. I have a class in the morning, practice before then or after then, head back to the magazine and try and get a night shift, which wasn't so bad, especially if you were in college, because those night shifts at the Source meant like you got the invites to the listening parties or the album releases or anything like
Right.
that.
Right.
So It wasn't so bad, man. Like, especially you had that college energy and you felt like you could just roll and go as hard as you can as long as you feel like it.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was a grind, bro. But I think it really shaped, my mentality and what I do in my career now.
Definitely, man. It pays off. It definitely does. You put in the work, and it definitely comes back around. I believe that, fully, 100%. So that's awesome, man. And so that's kind of how you got your career started. I know, you had your own publication, The Stashed.
Yes.
How did you end up coming to MSG? How did that come to fruition?
Man, I've a guy by the name of Mark Mundry, who's a fantastic producer, one of the head executives over at MSG. I guess had seen a lot of my stuff around the city. I was doing some stuff for the Post, hosting Big Apple Buckets. I was hosting some stuff for SNY called The Thread over there, which was pretty good. I was just doing a little TV here and there. And then, eventually they gave me the call and was like, hey, we really like you. And we're thinking of doing this sort of morning show. And introduced me to Monica, who I was already familiar with.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And then, we kind of hit it off right away. And I wasn't nervous because I had done, a lot of TV before. But it's like, man, this is the Knicks. This is MSG.
Right.
Initially, it was, a morning show, which started last fall. I believe it was really early.
MSG AM, man.
Yeah, MSG AM days. It was fun and it was cool, especially during the pandemic days, because it was you really didn't know what was coming next as far as life was concerned. So it kind of worked out in a good way. And eventually they were like, hey, you're gonna follow the Knicks now. So it was just like, wow.
Right there.
Yeah.
Especially now, after everything that we just spoke about, right? Like, I feel like everything that we just said kind of builds right up to this point, and it's like, so now if you've been listening, you hear exactly that, and you got to be like wide-eyed, like that's the dream job, right?
Yeah, man. Like, I've always wanted a show like this, especially in the realm of basketball. And I've definitely had other offers before, but like, there's nothing like being in New York, being from New York, being a Knicks fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to put on for the show. Like I can speak through my Knicks loving heart. Like, I don't have to put like a filter over that. You know what I'm saying?
And it hits so much more, because it's that much more genuine.
Yeah. And Knicks fans are the most smart fans there is in all of sports. And if you got somebody that you're throwing on at the Knicks games, they better be one of them or know how to speak their language and stuff like that. So I think that was a big thing for me that, as the show, gained popularity and even the Knicks started to really do well, just being embraced by Knicks Nation has been like really super dope. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that comes through anytime I tweet something about the Knicks or we got a special Knicks guest on the show, like Knicks Twitter, Knicks Nation is a real thing. And
it definitely is, man. And you are a figurehead in the Knicks fandom, so don't get that twisted. You definitely are up there 100%, man.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. And that's all I've ever wanted, man. Like it's still, you watch Mike Breen a lot, right? And like you see him talk about how like he still gets starstruck that he's like, yo, I'm calling games with Walt Frazier. I totally understand that because I don't care how old I'm gonna get. It's still gonna be like, wow, like I get to follow the Knicks. I get to talk hoops with Alan Hahn and Pito and Wally Zerbiak. These guys I've been watching, since I was in college, or however long they've been on the network. And having Walt Frazier on the show, having Mike Breen on the show, these are people that I'm
legends.
Fans of, legends. So I totally get that. It'll never be lost on me how dope this opportunity is. And, especially being like a real deal, like diehard Knick fan. I think it was like God's grace that like this is the first season that I came, the Knicks were really good.
Oh yeah.
That's my only thing. Like my only thing was coming to the show. I was like, man, like it might be rough sometimes because like if it's a bad game or a bad loss, you kind of got to be that voice for the fan and like kind of talk them through it. But Knicks home,
dude, you not only fulfilled
the biggest home court advantages in the entire NBA. So it wasn't a whole lot of times that we were talking to you guys after a loss. Like it almost felt like a party after games. You know what I'm saying? Especially after a home game, it's like the energy's up. We laughing, we joking, we talking about all the highlights or whatever. And you know what it's like after a Knicks home win, especially a big Knicks home win. It is like there's no better feeling, man.
If you're a part of the Knicks universe, Knicks social, you've definitely seen the videos that were circulating when fans were let back into, not even after game 2 when we won, like just during the season when fans were starting to be allowed back in. Like it was mayhem, you know. So
man,
you could tell we were excited.
I'll put it like this. As fun as the show has been, you know, to do, it was still remote, right? So the first time I really, really got to feel that Knicks energy was game 2. I was at the Garden. Man. I was outside, you know what I mean? Like, you know where the studio.
You were out there. I was out there. Oh yeah,
you're right there. So it's like, you know, the fans flood out, and we've all seen the videos by now, and it's like,
oh yeah,
man, this is after one win. It's like y'all don't understand, man. Especially all the year we've had with the pandemic and just kind of like not having fans in. Like the Knicks in the Garden. I mean, credit to MSG, credit to the network, credit to the entire organization. They were really the first to really bring back fans to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So like once the playoffs started, like I remember that announcement that they made that they're going full capacity for this game and yada yada yada. And the world got to see that. It was almost like, you know, I'm not saying, I mean, obviously, like we're still going through a pandemic, but like it felt like lockdown was over at least.
Right.
You know it was a euphoric energy and feel that you can't replicate anywhere, man.
No, definitely not, man. I pulled strings to make sure I was able to get tickets for game 2, and I will never regret that, man.
As you should. That was the one to be at. I'll tell you that.
Wedding night, game 2. I'll tell you, 1 and 2 all day. I'm telling you, when Coach comes through, he'll tell you, man. But speaking of Coach, what I want to do is just I'm going to go to a real quick commercial break. Yeah, we got amateur commercials over here, Kaz.
Nice.
I know familiar. But let me drop that, and then I'm going to come back. We'll bring Coach Fa on the fold, and we'll keep it rolling. So hang on one sec, and let's check this out here. Let's go with a video for the older crowd. I'm getting in there too.
Listen. 40-year-olds, 35-year-olds. Listen. We all want to have our fun. 50-year-olds. We all want to have our fun too, right? We see these challenges. We want to have a challenge. We want to do a challenge. Listen, but we got to be safe about our challenge. So introducing the 40-year-old and above Crate Challenge. Do this and be safe so you don't break your hip, break your arm, something like that. Now you got to get on disability, mess up your weekly check or something like that. You know what I mean? Or you got to be on the health plan and you don't got the Affordable Care Act. So just either stay off the crates or use this. You know, you got to be safe out there for 2021, baby.
I love those, man. I love those. It's if for those that are listening and not watching, it was a picture of literally 3 crates. So you step up one, you step up to the next, and that's it. You did the crate challenge. So that's a challenge that me and Coach, I know you would definitely love partaking that one because me and you would win at that all day. Coach,
what's happening, everybody? What's happening?
What's going on, Coach? Good to see you, bro.
Yo, bro, it is an absolute pleasure and honor, man. I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to go and pick up my kid. You know, you got to do them parental things and take
I was about
care
to
of the
say,
family.
you got your priorities all right. You go and be a good dad. I like that.
No, dad number 1, but Knicks fan number 2.
Gotta be.
Then maybe husband. No, I'm joking.
Oh man! So, Coach, before you joined us, we kind of just went over Kaz's rise to.
Oh, y'all did a great job, man! Great job with that. And sir, that ascension is just marvelous. And I mean, wow, to get
Thank
that
you,
call, you're following the Knicks now.
Right?
Yeah, man. It's an absolute honor, bro. Like I couldn't. When you're thinking of something like a dream job, like you never really have an idea of what it is. It just kind of
Right.
appears one day, and it's like, oh man, I could do
Oh,
this forever. You know what I'm saying? Like
this is the dream job. I
this
did
is it
it.
right here.
Wow.
Exactly.
So,
It looked
Exactly.
nice.
yeah, man, I love it. I love it, man.
Dude,
It's
but
so
I mean,
Started.
both of y'all are your show is shining. MSG PM, you and Monica, she's ascending, you're
100%, man.
ascending.
Shouts to Monica, by the
Dude,
way.
it's really, really phenomenal to see that good, strong people or good young people with passion. And you're making it happen, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you are making it happen.
Thank you, bro. And listen, it's not lost on me that, like having MSG or just, an NBA team trust two young black voices, to be out there. Like
It's
I
huge,
know it's
man.
not a lot of us out there. So
Right
it's,
on.
shout out
Hopefully,
to
it only
them.
gets more and more common, man.
Absolutely,
There's
absolutely.
no reason why it shouldn't be.
To where
Yeah.
it's not something you notice anymore because it's always there.
That
Yeah.
right there, man.
You know, that's where we got to get to, man. Where it's just known. This is just truth. We don't have to worry about. You know what? I don't mean to sidebar, but there was another first. I heard another first recently,
Mhm.
and I was happy and annoyed at the same time.
It's crazy.
The Bucks have a new announcer and a reporter, I believe, and it's their first female to ever do it. I feel bad that her name escapes me right now, but she was the
In
first.
research mode.
And I'm sitting here like, why do we have first women announcers in
Yeah.
2021? You know what I
It
mean?
lets you know
Why
just
is that?
It lets you know just how far we still got to go, man.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, let's get there. You
Yeah.
know, let's get there.
Definitely. We'll get there when it's
Hey,
not a thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Y'all, yeah, but and y'all are working that. Y'all are in the front lines of that right now, making that change happen because you're bringing great content, great energy, and it's dude. If it was Kelly Tribuca, no, I'm playing. I don't know if I'd be watching
Listen, I love Kelly
MSG PM.
Tribuca.
No, I do
Yeah.
too, bro. But I got to take it back to him and Malik Rose back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Those was lean times. I mean, now we got y'all in this. You got paprika. It's spicy. I love it.
Sir.
Let's go.
Nah, man. And and shout out to Monica, man. Like we all see that she's such a huge star and she's so incredible. And on top of that, like she's probably one of the most talented people I've ever worked with in my life. Like she is just I know it's not effortless, but she makes it seem everything that she does very easy and very genuine.
You both do.
Yeah.
She's
Don't short yourself, man.
Exactly. You both
I
do.
appreciate that. But she's the best co-host you can ask for, man. Like you're going to do a show with somebody who as cool as that and just makes the show just energetic and fun all the time. Like
Right.
you don't feel like work. You're just like, hey, I'm gonna go kick it with my homie for a little bit. Y'all just gonna watch. We might have some guests, and that's basically the show every week.
And it shows. You know what I mean? It absolutely shows through. So
yeah, it's seamless.
Both of you.
Thank
For
you.
real.
Man. Appreciate
For
that.
real.
Yo, and a small little nugget too, man. Right? I want to say like March or no, it's got to be earlier. I want to say January, February of this year. Right? They Michelob Ultra had a contest for Knicks fans where if you submitted, I forget what it was something, maybe it was like a clip, one of your favorite clips or something. If they picked it, you had an opportunity to sit courtside, and watch a Knicks game. And so I had actually won it, and I'm like, oh, nice, like this is gonna be dope. But pandemic, right? So you're not sitting courtside. But they did the virtual court side, right?
Oh, you was in the Miller Lake joint. Okay, the Michelob joint.
Yeah. So I get up in there, and lo and behold, Kaz is hosting it. And
okay,
man, who did we have come through? Rod Strickland came through in one of the rooms I was in, and Spree.
Yeah, I was about to say it had to be the Spree and Novak, one of them. But
Yeah,
Novocaine. I love the fact that y'all keep having Novocaine back because he was a really important time in Knicks history.
Oh yeah,
that jumper was wet.
Before this season of Knicks, like his crew was like the last like real
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of love out here in New York City.
Very much so.
Every
No
time,
cocaine.
even though he's from Milwaukee,
I don't care.
every time he's on the show, New York.
I don't care. He went to Wichita State with D Wade. I don't care. I don't care.
You know what they say, man. Once a Knick, always a Knick.
Marquette, not Wichita State.
Oh, Marquette. That's right. Marquette.
It's all good. All good.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. So
I was thinking of the colors. I saw the colors of the uniform because the gold and black kind of vibe. So yeah, Marquette. You're right. It was Marquette.
All good.
Well, you know better than I. You talk to the man.
Very true. Very true. And we know Kaz is good, man. He does his homework. He knows
yes,
that.
He does. Oh, yes, he does. I mean, again, I'm picky, man. That's what I said when I said about Tribute, you know, because I've been watching for years and years and years and years and years. And honestly, I was turning it off until Han and them started coming on. Mm-hmm. And then it was the podcasters, the content creators, man. It was Knicks Fan TV and Nick of Time and Knicks Film School. And that's kind of where I stayed until MSG PM, because y'all really kind of got that same podcast vibe, but with good chemistry, good vibe, and good guest stuff. So, yeah, and it's right after the game, so I'm like, you know what, I ain't gotta go all night. I'm good.
100%, man. I'm sitting there. I'm watching the game.
Fan TV. Shout out to CP, the franchise.
Yo,
yes.
Man.
I got so much love for all the Knick content creators. Shout out to my guy John, who does Knicks Fan TV.
John Macri.
Yo, that's my dude.
John Macri, Andrew Claudio, shouts to them.
Chris P, everybody, man.
Anthony MSG, you know.
Yeah, Anthony MSG.
Man. That's my dude.
Like, that's the wonderful thing about the New York Knicks, man. Like, it's a real community. So I remember when, when the show was starting to pop off. And, like there was some folks that were like kind of like on the fence about it. You know, a lot of folks watch Knicks Fan TV, watch other stuff. Right. It's like, nah, bro, we love them. Like, we got love for them. Like, you know.
Right. We ain't against that. No, with that.
We support everybody. That's the best part.
Of course. Like, there's too much division between, like, certain teams' fan bases. And my thing is with the Knicks, like, you either with us or against us. So I was never one of those people like, oh, don't watch that podcast, watch our show. Right. Like, nah, man, like, this show is dope. Watch their show. I'll come and pull up on it when they want me to, whatever. Like, it's all love, man.
Well, and it's an honor, man. We appreciate you coming up on this one, definitely.
Absolutely, Kaz. Absolutely, man. Honestly, I would have reached out earlier. I figured that you were just so busy.
I tried.
I didn't think.
Listen, this is not a something that happens a lot. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, this is. Man. I was very, definitely am very busy. But
no doubt.
I know the season's coming up. I respect you and your following. I follow a lot of Knicks guys on Twitter and, content creators. And, I know how much it's important, as a fellow content creator to just be able to, hop on and do the guest thing and do the 1-2. So I really do appreciate you guys having me, man.
No, absolutely. Man. Likewise. We thank you, man. Listen, I know right before you hopped on this pod, you were literally doing a Clubhouse chat with Spring Hill Audio, talking about athletes after their careers, right?
Yeah.
Shout
out Josiah Johnson, king of NBA Twitter.
Yes.
Video.
Josiah Johnson on fire.
Barrett guys. We got Daps who produced, directed Bad and Bougie for Migos. And
okay.
That's what's up, man.
Great video. T-shirt as well. Lil Uzi, bunch of dudes. Man, like it's I try to stay busy, but I know these type of things are very, very important, and and it's truly an honor. I'm not just saying that, man. Like, it's still crazy to me that like Knicks fans want to talk to me of all people.
Hell
like,
yeah, man.
Like, I'm y'all. Like, this is tight.
But that's why. You are y'all that made it to the national scene.
I appreciate it.
So we are so proud of what you've done. Right. We want to get to what
that's the name of the episode
so.
Right there. That's the name of the episode. Kazeem, the Dream, fam. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it is.
Thank you, man.
Listen, man, you kind of segued perfectly into where I want to go next, which is talking about our Knicks. You want
to hit a Randall or a Quickley before we jump into the next topic?
You name it, man. Hit me. What do you want to see? I got you.
Let's see. Since he had, you know what? Let's give him number 5. I believe number 5 is still up there.
Yeah, it is, brother. It
Give him
is.
number 5. I don't think Kaz has seen number 5.
I love it. All right, folks, we're gonna hit a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
More next corner.
You want your floaters to float. You want your 3-pointers to splash. You want to make an impact your rookie year. You got to use this new cologne, Immanuel number 5. That's that New York-ish. Chanel, Immanuel number 5. This is how New York does it, baby. At stores near you, or at every single Knicks game. Go watch, go enjoy. This is what it is. Say it with me. Immanuel, number 5.
Man. Listen, whoever watching this from MSG, please go to. That was really hilarious. That was really funny. That was hilarious, Coach.
I love it, man.
Great job, man. Great job.
Too funny. So being that we're on Immanuel Quickley or Immanuel now number 5, what are your thoughts of IQ going into the season? You know, maybe from let's start a little bit. Let's back up a bit, right? So, what are your thoughts on what you saw from him in summer league and how you see parts of
translating going forward?
There you go.
So Quickley is a special case for us because he is he's near and dear to our heart. He talked to us the day after he got drafted on MSG AM. So like,
that's right.
Once we talked to him,
if you guys didn't see that either, go back and watch.
Go back and watch.
That was really cool.
On YouTube somewhere. I think Monica did that one. But Quickley is a fun but intriguing talent. He's somebody who, you know, I've watched for a while since his high school days and, you know, his years in Kentucky. But, you know, I think he still kind of snuck up on a lot of people, right? Like a lot of folks didn't really see him coming. And, you know, he was a pace changer. He's somebody who comes in and, you know, every great team, I swear by this, needs an irrational confidence guy, and he is our irrational confidence guy. Right?
Yeah, he is.
He's somebody who,
emoji.
You know, and we've seen it. You know what I mean? Like we've seen games where he absolutely goes off, and he's pulling from Curry range, and he's sidestepping and dropping people, and
got the floaters on folk, like
the floaters going. You know what I mean? And he's just somebody who, you know, reminds me of a lot of great guards. Right? Like you could usually. Here's the thing about NBA guards, right? NBA guards are always quick to compliment each other, right? Like, you know, you got one when another guard compliments you. Big men, not so much. Big men are very much like, you know, this
no one's better than me. I'm the big man.
Yeah, like it's still, I don't know if it's like the Napoleon complex, I'm bigger than you, whatever. But like it's always been weird with big men. Guards, they always give it up quicker. And I knew we had something Quickley, like the first like couple weeks of the season where, you know, Paul George compliments him, Kawhi Leonard compliments him, Dave Lillard compliments him, Jamal Crawford, like real hoopers, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a big fan of his. I think this season he's going to be asked to do, you know, more of the same than what he did last year, especially with the addition of Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose. I think a lot of people, you know, as much as we were excited about Immanuel Quickley, we're always in a rush, especially as Knicks fans, to find the next great point guard. And all of us, especially me in particular, was very much in the school of he's got to start. He's got to start. You got to put him in the starting lineup. And that's not necessarily his skill set right now. Not to say he can't, you know, develop himself into like a star NBA point guard. But when you got a guy that young and that talented already, it's almost like the NFL. Like you see with Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones, and these quarterbacks just kind of being thrown into the fire when they're not necessarily ready. Even though they'll have some success here and there, you know, it's still a learning curve when it comes to the NBA. So, Immanuel Quickley, even though he did great games as a rookie, he definitely had his moments where it's like, oh, yeah, he's a rookie. You bring in Kemba Walker, the Derrick Rose, and, you still allow Immanuel Quickley to be like, hey, when you're in the game, it's your show, bro. Like, we're trying to get you buckets, you get open. And he's gotten to a point where there was early in the season where he was getting doubles. You know what I mean? He was getting double teamed a lot of those games when he was going hot. So
coaches would game against Quickley,
exactly
from half court too.
So it's one thing to get buckets at the NBA level. It's a whole other thing to be on the scout report and being double teamed. So now he's coming off of a unit where you got Derrick Rose going to really alleviate pressure. You got Obi Toppin who's coming into his own. You got Alec Burks who's a bucket. You know what I mean? You got a lot of guys off the bench that can keep Immanuel Quickley playing one-on-one basketball. And as far as one-on-one scores are concerned, he's up there. There's a couple of guys, maybe 2 or 3 guys that can create their own shot and get a bucket after RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. I don't know what we got in Kemba Walker. I'm hoping he's one of those guys. I know what I saw in Derrick Rose in the playoffs, but Immanuel Quickley and probably to a lesser extent Alec Burks are those guys that you can give the ball to and get a bucket. So as long as you keep them like that, I'm really excited for them.
I got a quick one, and you brought it up, so I kind of just want to lead into what you were referencing there. You reminded us that we have Kemba Walker and Derrick Rose.
Yeah. We deserve.
What kind of point guard masterclass is Deuce, Grimes, and Quickley getting right now?
Listen, that's the beauty.
Invaluable.
Right?
It really is.
And I was going to lean into this later, but the one thing with Knicks fans and, especially, people who have been patient Knicks fans for years, is that there's never been real stability and there's never been a real program of getting these guys ready.
We've not seen this in a long time.
We have been, as New Yorkers, we love our point guard play. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't had, our point guard play has been much to be desired for the better part of 15 years, 20 years.
We had Chris Duhon for ever. No disrespect to Chris Duhon, but
give it take a Jeremy Lin here and there. You know what I'm saying? But point guard play has been an issue. But I love Deuce McBride. I think he's a guy who can contribute on day
Ving Rhames looking dude, but
I like Grimes. I like the law firm of Grimes and McBride.
All day Grimes, McBride, and Sims.
And they're in great positions because the Knicks are so much depth.
Right. That they can learn.
They can learn. They can still play against backups. They're not drafting McBride and Grimes to be like, hey, go guard Dame Lillard and Steph Curry. That's a recipe for disaster and to break his confidence. Now you got Kemba Walker, you got Derrick Rose, you got 1 year of Quickley, you got RJ Barrett. In a year or two, maybe this year, they do some things that surprise you. But the good thing is the Knicks fandom and the New York Knicks organization isn't living and dying with the success of their draft picks for the first time in a long time. Now you can develop these guys. So now you're not just having one good season, you're having multiple seasons and you're building a good franchise. So now as things change within the NBA, the Knicks become much more of a desirable destination because it shows, hey, they develop players. Hey, they've got guys over there. Hey, I could go over there and be a missing piece. Or those pieces that are here are growing into pieces that the Evan Fournier signing, wildly underrated. You know what I mean? That's a guy who is fearless, could score on anybody, is tough-nosed, talks a little trash, gives it to anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's going to fit right in. And
he's
those
perfect.
are the signings that make the difference in the playoffs. Maybe you don't make a big splash and get like a 10-time All-Star in the offseason. But hey, maybe you develop a talent who is equal of a 10-time All-Star in Julius Randle or RJ Barrett.
Right.
And now you're picking up the guys that help teams win championships. Evan Fournier is a guy who you put him on a good team, he helps you get better.
Yep.
You put him on a good team, he helps you get better.
That's why Boston took him.
Exactly. That was
last year. Yeah, Boston thought that they were putting together a championship team. I mean, right? With Kemba coming into the fold at that price tag that he had, right? With adding for a guy like Fournier, they probably were in that mindset. We're in a contender status right now.
And in the bubble, didn't they go to the finals?
What's that?
In the bubble, didn't they go to the finals against the Heat?
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think. No.
Yeah.
I think so. But I just remember that Jason Tatum, Bam Adebayo block or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, the Celtics have been trying to figure out that point guard situation ever since Isaiah Thomas, right? Like,
which was the big mistake going to get Kyrie, in my opinion. Isaiah was perfect for that squad.
They went and tried to get Kyrie. That didn't really work out. They went and tried to get Kemba. Even though he put up some solid numbers, his health wasn't all the way there. I think this long offseason for Kemba Walker is going to help him out a lot. Yes. And the fact that the Knicks are deep at point guard and coming here for cheap, it makes the expectations a little bit more manageable than it was for Boston. They were asking Kemba Walker to go and replace Kyrie Irving's productivity last year.
That's a huge point.
Asking a lot to do. You're not asking Kemba Walker to do that for the Knicks. You're asking him to hold the fort down, be a capable scorer.
For the first unit, Derrick got the second unit. Give me 20 minutes a game.
Exactly. Right. So I think they made some very key, underrated, very just smart offseason moves that that were very understated. But if your team does what it's supposed to do, especially with a coaching staff that you got, and keeps the momentum from last year and adding this, health permitting, it could be a really good year for the Knicks again.
I felt that way about what their approach to the draft as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were annoying the crap out of me. Oh, they drafted they came out of this position. I'm waiting all night for them to draft. We're drafted back. Wait a minute. It's getting on 11 o'clock. I got to go to work in the morning. When y'all go pick somebody?
I was very happy with
that. They did their thing. They were very intelligent about the picks. They were very smart about moving down and collecting assets for moving down. The whole draft was just a chess game, and the announcers and everybody did not catch on at first. They're like, what are the Knicks doing? The Knicks, what are they doing? Yeah, watch.
Yeah, why? Exactly. The Knicks, I've sat through enough Knicks teams to where we had no draft picks, trading away draft picks for years, all this stuff. Now the Knicks have a bevy of draft picks. They have assets, and this is an asset collecting league, all right?
Yes, it is.
If you don't got stars, you better have some assets and some money to play around with. And
got to ask Sam Presti about that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes even that's still not enough.
Right.
You got to put yourself in a position to be competitive and be nimble. Things change at the drop of a hat. You never know who's going to ask for a trade. You never know who's going to just drop off the face of the earth and want to be resigned. You just never know. So the Knicks maintaining their flexibility is probably just as impressive as what they did on the court this past season.
Well said.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. And that point that you brought up too, with the expectations of Kemba, that's such a big thing, because I've been seeing for the last couple of days now on Twitter, Instagram, wherever, about just what it means, right, to upgrade from an Elfrid Payton to a Kemba Walker, and people outside, looking in saying,
well, he's bad, he's hurt, he's this, he's that.
And it's like, listen, it's not so much about who, but it's about what, you know what I mean? And what his expectations are and how the fit's going to work. And I think the fit here on the team is a lot better than what the fit was with him in Boston. And that's just my opinion. But
I agree.
I feel like it's not looked at in that light. You know what I mean?
I agree. And players that are as accomplished as Kemba Walker at this stage of their career, they don't have anything to prove. They just want to win basketball games.
That's what half the hype is about,
Exactly. Like, I feel like there'll be people on the outside looking in if Kemba Walker's averaging 15 points a game, and they're like, see, I told you he's not the player he was. Do you know 15 points per game at the point guard position that the Knicks this year would do?
Right.
Very well. You know what I mean?
So we're used to anywhere from 6 to 8.
Exactly.
So 15 is awesome.
Yeah, like, I mean, no disrespect to Elfrid Payton. I know he got it pretty hard this offseason. He was definitely the target of a lot of Knicks fans. And but he is who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not the guy that he's not the guy that's gonna electrify New York City with a scoring prowess. Okay.
All I needed him to do, because listen, if you really watch Elfrid Payton, he's not a terrible point guard at all.
No, Elfrid Payton he's going to Phoenix this year.
And
he's
you'll
going to
see
do some things for them. He's going to help that team.
Yes,
He's
yes,
not
he
going
is.
to be the starting point guard. He's going to be somebody who's going to spell Chris Paul and Cameron
Right.
Payne for certain times.
Right.
He's going to have his moments. The thing was, the Knicks, I mean, not for a long time. I mean, there was a point where he was starting games and we weren't seeing him for the rest of the game. It
Right.
wasn't so much about him starting. It was more about how good that bench unit was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, it was that Derrick Rose, Quickley, Burks, Toppin.
Highlighted deficiencies in our first unit.
Exactly.
Yes, it did.
Like, you had Julius Randle playing at an all-world level that was able to carry that front unit. RJ Barrett not too far behind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when they had it going,
It was great.
if Julius and RJ had it going early, you knew that bench was coming in for a net positive, and that won you a lot of games. So I'm not mad at Tom Thibodeau taking a chance on Kemba Walker. It makes sense for a culture fit. It makes sense for the needs of the team. And, you know, Tom Thibodeau has forgot more about basketball than most of us have ever learned.
Right.
I'm pretty
100%.
sure he knows what he's doing.
Now, another sidebar is Derrick has done a wonderful job at keeping himself healthy, and we know he's been riddled with horrific injuries, keep it a buck. So he knows what to do. You even see him during the season, you see him doing these weird stretches and stuff.
Yeah.
On the sideline. He's keeping himself together, keeping himself straight. I am positive he and Kemba are having conversations even now
100%.
about that. So Kemba now has somebody who understands what he's going through and understands how to get him out of it.
And that's only going to strengthen the bond. I mean, the bond's already there, but it's only going to strengthen it, you know?
Listen, I know it seems like ancient history now, but there were Knicks fans that were very scared of Derrick Rose coming to this team, thinking he was going to mess up the chemistry or mess up the development.
Well, because we remembered him from the last time he came.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what stayed.
Derrick Rose has been the model teammate, the model leader. They look to him for a whole lot of inspiration. For maturity.
He's at a different point in life now than he was then. You know what I mean?
And honestly, if this was his first go round with us, I don't know if it would be as impactful. But because he was already here and it didn't go well at all, you know, every player has a little bit of ego. And he's probably like, you know what? They brought me back here. I kind of want to do this one right.
He's got zero.
He's so down to earth. Says a lot about that franchise because
it does.
If you've been here before,
it didn't go well, you may not want to come back.
Exactly, like you may not want to come back. So him saying, you know, if he ever got a chance to come back, he would do it right and meaning it and doing it. You know, it's the Knicks are in a position where they're not as they're in a situation that has shown to rehabilitate athletes. To put, you know, to shine on athletes. I mean, they took home a lot of hardware last year. Even though they didn't take home the big hardware,
they did.
Having a franchise that has your team in the mix for the top seed in the NBA playoffs, coach of the year, most improved player, and the runner-up to sixth man of the year. I mean,
an all-star.
Yeah,
and he was an all-star.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. We can keep
team,
going.
didn't he? He made NBA second team, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
There you go. I mean, dude, it's incremental steps. And honestly, I feel like RJ is going to be the next All-Star if we have a good record going into the All-Star break.
Man, I hope so, man. I want to see that kid work hard for a MIP, man, you know?
Yeah, I think he was in the mix for most improved player last year, too. But I think Julius'
performance was just
that guy ran away with it, man.
He ran away with it. But I think RJ Barrett he's only taken strides every year he's been in the NBA. And
real talk.
At the point he's going right now, I mean, I think an all-star berth isn't out of the question. You know, like I think just being somebody, or he has to be in the conversation. Like it has to be a snub if he doesn't make an all-star.
Yes.
Year, right? Like it has to be something where, you know, it's between him and three guys because the Eastern Conference is loaded with mega names. So like he might be one of those dudes who like becomes like the wing Mike Conley, where it's like
Dame Lillard even for a while, because Dame couldn't even get into the All-Star game for a while.
Dame couldn't make it for a while. You know, sometimes it'd be like that. But you know, as long as he puts up All-Star type production, I'm thinking he's a 20-point per game scorer this year.
I'm feeling that too, to be perfectly honest.
Definitely.
And that's what a good winning team needs. They need at least two 20-point plus scorers, at least. and then good point guard play and good defense. Oh my
Now,
God, are
there's
we
a
a good
lot of
team?
there's a lot of conversation right now too, talking about with the new additions of, obviously adding Fournier, adding Kemba, and probably being an adjustment period. There's a lot of guys, or I wouldn't say guys, but a lot of talk out there about RJ not averaging, say, 20 points a game because it's not needed. How do you see something like that playing out?
I'm cool with that. I think there's certain players, especially in his position, and with that team is Zion's gonna put up 25 a game. He has to.
He has to.
John Morant's gonna put up 20 something a game. He has to.
He has to.
Like
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling
exactly.
You're hitting it right on the head.
RJ Barrett's on a team that has Julius Randle, who was the MVP candidate. You got a team with Kemba Walker. You got a team with Derrick Rose. You got Evan Fournier, who's going to demand some shots. I don't think the numbers are going to tell the whole story with RJ Barrett this year, right?
I totally agree.
Unless he takes like a superhuman leap where it's just like, oh, no, this guy's like Paul George. You know what I'm saying?
I'm knocking on wood right now, man. Let's go.
Honestly, if it's not this season, it'll be next year.
Yeah,
I'm saying
that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
It's not out. It's not out the realm of possibility that he does make a monster leap this year. But I don't think that is what is going to make this team a contending team. I think they have to be able to get people on all sides. And one thing I noticed about the past couple playoffs is that it's a war of attrition. It wasn't necessarily the best teams who won. It was a team that stayed the healthiest and was the deepest that ended up taking it all. And I feel like if that's the Knicks' ultimate goal, even if you make you were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs this year, whatever, scratch that. Like, what you did wrong. You know that, anything can happen. As much as the Bucks championship run was successful, they weren't necessarily the favorites going in there.
No. So they had their time, and this year wasn't it. This past year,
you gotta always just stay in the mix. Like, even if you don't swing a trade, that's why I wasn't big on like swinging a trade for like any superstars or anything like that.
It's not needed yet.
It's not needed. My thing is like, it's a long season. You want to have depth. You want to be in the mix as long as you can, because you just never know. You can either get hot at the right time, somebody get hurt. Like, you just never know. That's why you play the games. You can't just. It's not 2K where you just simulate it. And it's most superstars.
You gotta staying in the mix is the perfect way to put it. Because look at what the Bulls did. At trade deadline. They obviously added some pieces. We're looking to take the next step. They actually didn't. Right? They really didn't make any steps. They kind of just kept going down.
Fell back.
They got hot at the right time. You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, Atlanta got hot at the right time because Nate McMillan became their coach.
Absolutely. I'm not stating why. I'm just saying they got hot at the right time.
If it was still Jacques Vaughn or somebody, we would be in the second round of the playoffs. Just keeping that up.
100%. Totally agree. So staying in the mix is absolutely vital. And to me, that's why I'm so big about seeding not mattering so much. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you want the best seeding, but it shouldn't matter so much. The win-loss record shouldn't matter so much, because if you're playing ball at the level that you're not only expected to, but striving to, you're going to be where you need to be anyway, and at the same time, you can only go up against yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep staring at all the other teams, and you got to keep focused on the next game. And that was a big thing that they did excellent last season, was having a short memory, which you heard Thibodeau talk about often, and putting in that work night after night, focusing only at the game at hand. So big things. Kaz, I know normally we run for about like 30 minutes. Yeah, so we're rounding the hour out. So I figured let's start wrapping it up. I got one question I want to ask you. It's not Knicks related, and I gotta know, what is the best ice cream flavor? The best, not your favorite, the best.
The best ice cream. Okay. The best. When we say best, right? Like, are we talking about like the most versatile, the one that's the most respected and loved, the one that tastes the best?
We're going to just say the GOAT of ice creams, right? Like, when we talk GOATs of ball, like, it's pretty much Mike. I know that there's arguments, but the number one's usually Mike.
Okay. I got two, and both of them are off the wall, so I want to hear Kaz's first.
Okay, all right, the best ice cream flavor the GOAT ice cream flavor, just in the way you explained it, it's gotta be chocolate, right? Like, I mean, like it's just the versatility, just as much as like, you know, you can't really get a good sundae with just vanilla, you know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to, vanilla's vanilla. Like everybody likes vanilla.
Right.
Yes.
But chocolate.
But vanilla, they even call it vanilla defenses.
Yeah, like vanilla
is plain.
The description in itself just lends itself to being just it's all right. But chocolate is what really makes.
Dude, I love the Italian hand.
Yes, the chocolate latte.
That's right, man.
Come on.
Vanilla would not be nothing if it wasn't a chocolate. Chocolate will work, all right?
Yo,
you got a great argument for it, that's for sure, man.
3 years of Baskin and Robbins, and I'm literally going with butter pecan and rum raisin. Rum raisin is a Caribbean delicacy. Everybody who was from Jamaica, Trinity, anywhere for the 3 years that I worked at Baskin and Robbins, they all ordered. Let me get the rum raisin.
The rum raisin.
I put the rum raisin, but the rum raisin in my sundae. Go on. And then
sir, I don't have
butter
raisin.
pecan. Then it was butter pecan. I mean, I don't even think they even do butter pecan anymore. But back then, like, it was like, yo, y'all got some of that butter pecan? Like, I mean, my mom would be like, you going to work tonight, right? Yeah. Pint of butter pecan.
You got to bring that home.
I tell you what, go home right now. Ask your mom. Yeah, mom, you want some butter pecan ice cream? Yes. Y'all got butter pecan? I'm telling you, it's something about skin so soft and butter pecan ice cream for older women.
There's got to be something to it, man. There's something we're missing.
I promise. Some of the baddest, like the Pam Grier type women would come into the Baskin Robbins and be like, oh, they got 2 for $5 butter pecan? Choop, choop. I'm like, what is in this one? Butter pecan?
Man, that's
so
too
crazy, man.
That's too funny.
Real talk, man. I went from scooper to assistant store manager.
There you
Listen,
go.
I've been a cake batter guy as of late. Cake batter ice cream.
Cake batter's good.
Okay,
man.
That's the new crack right now. It's cake batter ice cream.
Yeah.
It used to be that espresso ice cream because when everybody was big into coffee, the cafe mochas and stuff like that was the thing. Now, the cake batter though, it's real big.
Yup. Yeah, man. Listen, if they could make a funfetti ice cream, I'm all about it. All in. I love funfetti. But ice cream,
I might have to get my dinner ready, man. I'm hungry now.
Dude,
I'm starving. I'm starving.
I'm hungry to mug, man. I'm starving now.
I'm starving. And so everybody that's listening or watching this, we recorded this on Thursday night. So it's past dinner time. You know what I'm saying? So we're hungry. I know you guys are watching
this. We aired this on Saturday, but it's actually Thursday. And
So I gotta go with
on Thursdays back in the day at 8:00.
There you go. So I gotta go with.
I'm sorry, I
gotta agree with Kaz, man. Chocolate, in my opinion, is the best.
No, I agree with Kaz. I just had to be special with my.
No, you're cool.
I ain't got a butter pecan, bro. I could do some butter pecan right now.
You can jam with the pecan.
Rum raisin, though.
Right? Yo,
rum raisin. Not my favorite.
See. You're not Jamaican.
Nah, I'm Nigerian.
See, there you go. So that's why. I mean, this is a scientific fact.
You heard it here first. If you're eating butter pecan or the rum raisin, hit up Coach and let him know what's up.
Yes, or if your mama or your nana is eating it, because somebody in your house got some rum raisin. Your DMs are gonna be wild. Yo,
man.
Get you a butter pecan and chocolate banana split.
Man,
with
I might
hot
just
fudge,
skip dinner.
Not the syrup, the hot fudge.
I might just skip dinner, man, and just eat ice cream.
That's worth dinner skipping. And with the potassium you're gonna get for the bananas, you're still getting in, your protein.
Yeah, man. There it is. So, Kaz, I just want to thank you, man, so much for your time. Not only did you give us 30 minutes, you gave us an extra 30 minutes. So we appreciate that more than anything.
I can't wait to see MSG PM this season too.
Let's go.
Right. We back in the studio too, so I can't wait.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
In the garden, feel the energy of the crowd, feel the energy of the people. I'll see a lot of y'all at the garden, man. So,
yes, you will.
Hell yeah.
Go Knicks, man. Yo, Dan, Coach, appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all having me on the show.
Appreciate you, brother.
Kaz, before you go, anything that you want to plug at all?
Bang.
Yeah, man. Check me out on Say Less with Kaz, Lowkey, and Rosy.
Yes. I forgot to mention that.
Shout out to the crew. We building, we moving with that. Shout out to the Masked Man Show, my guy Dave, my wrestling podcast that I do for the Ringer.
Yes,
and, man, catch me on MSG PM with Monica McNutt. We back this season 2. So we're it's almost tip off season. So you'll see us around the time.
Getting there, man. Getting there.
Right on.
3 weeks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all once again. It's your main man, Coach Fa.
Danny B, as always, we thank you guys all for listening.
Kaz in the building.
Thank you, man. We got to do this again. Maybe later in the season, we'll try to get Monica on with you and have just a grand old time.
Oh, man,
I'm down, bro.
Awesome.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. Y'all take it easy. Thank you so much.
You too, Kaz. Be good, brother.
Peace.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all once again for tuning in. Again, I'm sorry I was late, but I'm glad I showed up.
Oh yeah, better late than never, man. You know how they say that.
Yeah, and great job, by the way, Danny. Number one, handling that great. The beginning of the interview and everything, bringing Kaz on in the first place. My man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's always tuning in with us. Thank you, guys. Knicks Corner, you know where it's at. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and man. Danny B Morning Drives. We coming, bro.
Back.
3 weeks.
Back.
Let's go, dude. I'm psyched.
Coach Fa's Knicks Minutes coming back.
Let's go.
Come back.
Oh man, lots of reasons to get up on that Knicks Corner, and we got lots in store for this season. So definitely keep your eyes locked. We're gonna have merch coming through. We're gonna have some new types of shows where we get fans involved. I didn't even drop this on Coach yet, so I'm dropping it. Funk's Flex, bomb, boom. We're doing it.
Woo.
So shouts to you. Shouts to you, Coach.
And when y'all see me at MSG, when y'all see Danny at MSG,
yo, say what's up.
Put you on the camera real quick, bring you on the show type style.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Man, street style. We doing everything. Let's get up out of here, though, because I got groceries to eat.
All right, man. You got it, bro. Just remind me. I got an idea, bro. Remind me. Much love.
You got an idea, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to remind him.
Listen, me and Coach, we always end off, right? I'll always be like, Coach, be good. And he always says, be better.
Be better.
Let's do it. Peace.